Good afternoon. My name is Walt Mabe with the Board of Supervisors here in Warren County. We're going to have our weekly update of the COVID-19, and today we have the Deputy Emergency Manager, Mr. Rick Farrell, and John Bell as the Commonwealth's Attorney. And first thing I would like to do, if it's okay with everybody here in the room, is I'd like to tell you about the actual cases that we have and all of the information that way for right now. And then I'll turn it over to Mr. Farrell, and he'll be able to start talking to us about the jail and any other thing that we want to be talking about. As of today, we have 1,505 confirmed cases. Clark County was 31. Frederick County has 384. Page has 231. Shenandoah County is 470. Winchester is 215. Right now, Warren County has 217 cases. That's up 13 from yesterday. 15 are or were hospitalized, with 3 deaths that are confirmed for the county. A brief update on the RSW jail from at approximately 10:30 this morning, then we got it. There is 352 inmates, with 5 cases that were out of the approximately 100 employees. They are safe, secure in their home, and they're not part of the jail currently. There's been a total of 75 cases, with 67 that are still active. 8 cases have been confirmed as being over. They're no longer sick. No hospitalizations. And a lot of the cases that were brought forward and we tested for, they were not symptomatic at all. So they didn't even realize that they had a virus. So those are things that we've got to look for. And with that, I'll turn that over to Mr. Farrell so he could speak a little bit more about this. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Walt. My name is Rick Farrell, and I'm the Deputy Emergency Manager for Warren County. I just want to provide a couple updates to you today regarding the Phase 2 transition for Warren County. As you all know, Warren County will transition to Phase 2 along with the Commonwealth tomorrow, the 5th of June. What that means for us here in the Government Center is that effective on Monday, the 8th of June, the Government Center will be open to the public once again. If you want to visit the Government Center, I just ask that you wear a mask if you are not medically prohibited from doing so, and follow social distancing standards. You can still call in and make an appointment. You can still talk to staff on the phone, and you can still use the drive-through and mail for the Treasurer's Office and the Commissioner of Revenue as well. Also, the town of Front Royal, and they can give you more detail, but I know that they plan on opening up the town hall to the public as well on Monday, June the 8th. Finally, if you are a CCAP patron, as you know, for the last couple of months, we moved CCAP food distribution operations up to the 15th Street Social Services Complex. Yesterday was our last day of distributing food at the 15th Street Complex, and everything is moving back to the CCAP location now at 316 North Royal Avenue beginning Monday, June the 8th. So again, if you're a CCAP patron, please don't go up to 15th Street, go back to the CCAP location, and you can call them for details or visit the CCAP website. And in conclusion, I just ask everyone once again to remain vigilant as we all get outside of our homes and support our local establishments over the next few months. We are still in this corona thing for the long haul, and everybody should reasonably expect that the effects of the virus will last through the summer. Thanks for all you're doing to support our community. Stay healthy, take care, and God bless. And with that, Mr. Bell.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Right now we are...
Microphone.
My apologies. We now have the microphone on. All right. We are now under Executive Order 65. For those of you who've been keeping track, 64 actually does not deal with the coronavirus. 64 deals with the civil disturbance and curfews, City of Richmond, Virginia Beach, Hampton. Executive Order 65 puts us in what the governor refers to as Phase 2. That's the further loosening up of the requirements for businesses, for social gatherings and so forth. Executive Order 65 consists of 14 pages, and it incorporates by reference 40 pages of guidelines for each aspect of our business and social life. I'm not going to go through all 14 pages of the executive order or all 40 pages of the particular guidelines out, but I will hit a couple of high points. The key number for Executive Order 65 is 50. Yeah, and what I mean by that is businesses such as restaurants can open up for dining inside now, but no more than 50% of their rated lowest capacity. Also, too, social gatherings are now approved, but for no more than 50 people. Yeah, so any indoor facility that is being allowed to open under the executive order is limited to that 50% of capacity, and there are a number of guidelines for how people should be arranged inside that. And any gathering is allowed, indoor or outdoor, subject to that capacity rating for the facility, but in any case you're limited to 50 people at a time. Your gym can open back up, but 50% of capacity, no more than 50 people, and even that number is subject to the distancing requirements. And the general requirement is the 6-foot social distance still has to apply. Doesn't apply within a family group. You and your family come out to a restaurant that's opened up their dining room, you can sit at a table together. But that next table has got to be at least 6 feet apart. All of the servers are going to have to be wearing their masks. So we are not out of the woods yet, but some things are loosened up. Now, the one thing that has not officially loosened up is indoor recreational facilities. Movie theaters and so forth, concert venues are still closed down. Those are not part of Phase 2. If you want to get to these things and read them yourself, again, just go to virginia.gov, which is the official site of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and you will find links to the coronavirus guidance sites. And what you're looking for is Phase 2 guidelines. Something else to keep in mind, since a lot of our folks commute, is that Phase 2 does not yet apply to Northern Virginia. They are just getting into Phase 1. So there are still more restrictions there. If you want to go in and sit down at a restaurant in Fairfax, that's not going to happen quite yet. But we are into Phase 2. Most businesses are being allowed to open up. A few are not. The businesses that are opening are still subject to the social distancing requirements, still subject to the mask requirement, and still subject to limitations on the number of people you can put in. And in any case, even though you can put up to 50% of the rated capacity, you still cannot pack a place. You still have to maintain that 6-foot social distance. If your restaurant is rated for 50 people, but you can't fit 25 in and have them all be 6 feet apart, the tables, then you're going to have to cut back. Rather than get any more details, I'll just open it up for any questions.
How about churches?
Churches are subject to that same 50-person, and there's actually a entire set of guidelines for Phase 2 for religious. No more than 50% of the lowest occupancy row, 6 feet apart except for family members. Nobody passes anything to anybody. Any items used to distribute food or beverages must be disposable, used only once and discarded. Thorough cleaning and disinfectant, and cleaning before and after services. Discontinued any other gatherings where people are going to be, sharing food and so forth. Basically, you don't want everybody coming up to the same coffee urn after the service. I don't know, most churches I've been in, you can mess with anything except coffee hour, so this is, still has an impact on the way we worship.
I have a question. One of the biggest questions that I've had is when we're going to be able to get rid of these. And what is the enforcement that's going to happen with it? And who is going to be responsible for making sure that people are wearing their masks?
That goes back to the previous executive order, and the governor's office muddied the water on that one thoroughly. In the original announcement of this, the governor made it clear that law enforcement was not going to be enforcing the mask requirement, but that it could be enforced by the health department through their permitting powers, through injunctive relief, through the circuit court. He did make the violation of the order a Class 1 misdemeanor, even though he said he was not intending to enforce that criminally. So right now, the mask requirement is out there. Violation could technically be a crime, but certainly my office and the Sheriff's Department and the Front Royal Police Department are following the governor's guidance that they don't wish it enforced criminally through local law enforcement. And as we pointed out, there is an exemption under the statute for anybody who has a health reason not to wear a mask, on this. To answer your question, virtually nobody is actually enforcing it. And as far as when it comes off, who knows? And in some cases, I'm stepping a little bit out of bounds here, but the phrase "I can't breathe" hits everybody, particularly at home these days. So I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. I appreciate that. Just to let everybody know that this is going to be a big weekend and a lot of stuff is going to be happening. Please be safe. Please be aware. And please do what you can to help your neighbor. Remember that still have plenty of food. Anybody that needs food should ask, and we'll be happy to provide it. The schools are still delivering food. We're still delivering food. And it's imperative that we take care of each other. You see a neighbor, ask them if they're okay. A lot of people need social interaction. And this is a big, big, big time where people just don't really think about each other as much as they should. If you haven't seen your neighbor, go check on them. Heck, stand outside their house and yell, and maybe they'll come. But do something to make sure that they're okay. Yes, sir.
Walt, the Royal Examiner just did an update on the Victory Garden that the CHIO has, and it looks like the green is coming up out of the ground, and you want a good positive story. There's one right there that our community's coming together for that. I think that's a big part of the things that you've helped champion for the county to draw our community together. So I want to give you a big kudos for that. And all the hard workers that are working over there too. They've really been dedicated to make that thing work.
The people that have been doing that have been outstanding. We got an irrigation system basically for free. We've got an electric fence up. We've got stuff coming up out of the ground, and it's beginning, like you said, to turn green. Whatever we're doing together, and we're doing it, and it is a positive thing. The food deliveries are another. That has been a very positive thing, and we're helpful for our neighbors to actually say, "Hey, Walt, if you need something delivered, give me a call and I've got a list of names." And it works. It is working, and we need to continue to do that. But the things that we need to continue to watch is to frequently wash your hands. I mean, everybody knows how to wash their hands. I mean, you do it more now. I mean, mine are getting raw. I'm sorry they are, but they're getting raw with sanitizer and washing them so much. Don't touch your face. If you feel comfortable, or you feel that you're symptomatic, or if you feel scared for your neighbor breathing around you, wear a mask. Nobody is absolutely positively gonna lock you up if you don't wear one, but please be safe. Be aware of it. Use it if you think that you need it. Support your local businesses as much as you can. I mean, they're still doing takeout. They're still sitting out on porches and in the front of their stores and in mass to where they've got tables, and go visit them if you feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable, stay home. Simple. It's a choice. Make your choices wise and make yourself aware. And like Mr. Farrell said, we are in this for the long haul. Expect it to go through the summer. Hopefully it gets a little bit easier as time goes by. Hopefully the numbers continue to work in the positive way by going down, so it makes it easier for us to make decisions. We've had to make some real tough decisions, and we're trying to follow the government as best as we can. We're listening to Valley Health. They're the ones that's given me information, and that's the information that we use every day. I can look all over the place and get 27 different metrics. Some are good, some are bad. I use one, and I expect Valley Health to treat us right. And so far, I believe that they have. And like I said, I can go to other places and get other information, but then it becomes which one is correct. So I'm trying to stick with one. But please, this weekend, just be safe, be out there, go out and have a good time. It's hopefully a sunny weekend. You can go out and do something and sit down by the river or down at a picnic table that's out on Eastham Park, and drive back by the Victory Garden and take a look down there and see things that people are doing to get back together. So thank you a lot. I appreciate your time, and I hope the weekend's good for everybody. Thank you. Yes, sir.
One additional question, Roger B. Keyroll, Examiner. We have information, there's a Remember George Floyd demonstration scheduled for tomorrow. I think it's 6 o'clock, that will be moving from Bing Crosby to the courthouse. I think there may be law enforcement involved. Has anybody approached you about social distancing in that demonstration, or trying to keep things within the parameters?
We're trying to keep, it starts at 6:30. There is law enforcement involved. We've got the city and the county sheriff's department. They're each involved. And it is for Mr. Floyd. And it's a peaceful demonstration. Does not walk all the way to the courthouse. It's basically a small circle that goes from, help me here, it goes from Bing Crosby up to Royal Avenue to, as a left on, and takes a left on 6th Street, goes down to Commerce, takes another left and goes back to Bing Crosby, and then there are speakers. So we won't be going downtown, because downtown, you'll remember, is closed, and it's open for the restaurants and for the people that want to go down there as well. I think it'll be attended reasonably well, and I think it'll be a very peaceful demonstration for Mr. Floyd. It's a time for unity and a time for understanding with our community, to make sure that we're doing what we feel that we need to do to help our community heal. I'm not condoning anything that the police has done. I don't like it, and I don't know one policeman that likes it. And we're trying to make the statement that we are behind them. We understand what they're trying to make their statement about. And we're going to go from there. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. May I add that I know that the police department, the sheriff's department have been in on planning on this since they first learned of it and have worked very hard with some of the organizers, to get this thing set up. While it is citizen-generated, in some way unofficial demonstration, law enforcement, including our office in the county, has been very supportive and continues to support having a peaceful exercise of people's rights. We believe that this is important, and we are very happy to provide what support we can.
And my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, is that law enforcement actually will be involved, not just monitoring it, but marching with the demonstrators in some cases.
It's my understanding that the chief and the sheriff has both expressed their intention to march.
Yes. And whether they march or whether they're they've got a lead vehicle, one lead vehicle, and they may be in that together. But we're in this together, totally. And they're marching lockstep together, and we don't expect anything to go sideways. But if it does, of course, they're prepared. But we don't expect anything. And they have the right to demonstrate, and we're going to let them demonstrate.
I think we can be pretty confident in this community, if we're down there filming it, we're not going to get shot with rubber bullets or pepper rounds.
I think you can be absolutely
You can be positive that's not going to.
I appreciate that the Facebook page for the organizers of the event had changed the name to Front Royal Unity.
Yeah.
And I think that's a powerful message, and I believe we're all on board with that.
And also, the NAACP is there and part of it. Mr. Carter, A.D. Carter is going to be one of the speakers and is riding with the police chief and the sheriff. So,
He's had foot surgery recently.
yes, yeah, he has. So we're going to make sure that he's okay. Yes, sir.
Now, there does seem to be a bit of a contradiction in terms here in that this sounds like it is going to be an event of more than 50 people. So I do want to go back to the question about masks as well, kind of, is who is enforcing this social gathering limitation rule?
In theory, law enforcement is charged with enforcing the social gathering. Now, I had previously stated in regards to some other events that I believe that your First Amendment right trumps these requirements, provided that the 6-foot social distance is maintained as best we can, that sanitation practices are followed, and that the other guidance for safety is done. Yeah.
So it's a First Amendment issue is able to take precedence over these other guidelines.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Anything else? Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful week.